There are some kind of animal tissues that are quite treasured, high-priced Chinese medicine, including the antler of a deer. Okay, horn, you know horn, right? Those soft horn, still with blood and with fur, with hair covered on the surface. They are not fully matured horn. They are just produced within 3 months or 4 months. They are very young, soft, full of hormone. This is so-called antler. Okay, so-called antler, 鹿茸. Okay, it's high-priced Chinese medicine we export. And on the right side, this is a Formosan Sika deer. It's a Formosan Sika deer. It's a male. What he had on his hand is antler. And you can see it's still like a smooth curve, not like a bone. In Taiwan, some city named by deer, right? Give me some example. 鹿港 and 出入牧场. Okay, yes.
鹿耳门.
鹿耳门, good job. 鹿谷, right? Have you heard that name? 鹿谷. They produce the high quality tea leaves. Okay, Taiwan have many locations named by deer. Why? Because we were full of deers. They are running in the plants everywhere. Okay, how many we have? Okay, if you don't know, that's fine. Okay, but I want to tell you, this is old map drawn by the Dutch sailor. They don't have a very good technique. They just try to detect by a long distance and try to draw the shape of Taiwan. This is not quite the right size, right? Taiwan should be a little bit fatter in this part. Okay, here should be more narrowed, right? Okay, right. And here's the central mountain. This is right. You can see the central mountain is and the central separate Taiwan into west part and east part. Both sides we have Sika deer. You can see a great color of Sika deer located in here, here, and here. These are 4 major places we could find a Sika deer. They are mainly live very close to the hill and on the plants. Okay, 在嘉南平原上跟在山丘的部分我们会找到它们。And the east part 在就是出入那些地方 we could find them too. And in Kaohsiung, if you go climb the Monkey Mountain, do you know the Monkey Mountain, 财山? If you go climb the mountain, oh, I've been there before, and you should keep in your mind 200 years ago, even 200 years ago, we still could see the Sika deer walking on the Monkey Mountain. So it's reasonable. I went climb mountain and I pick up a deer teeth on the ground. Okay, the Aboriginal people living there and they hunt Sika deer as a food resource. And so, of course, they left some tissue they couldn't eat, like a bone, like horn, like teeth. So I dig the ground and I find the Sika deer teeth a lot. And now you could see the Sika deer only, the really wild Sika deer only can be observed in Kenting National Park. And there is a long story of why and when and how this Sika deer moved to Kenting National Park. Okay, so we're gonna start it. The topic today is history and the restoration of this Formosan Sika deer. Okay, every kind of species adding location names in front of their names, which means they can typically only find in this area. Okay, so Formosan Sika deer can be only found in Taiwan. Okay, right. So the next page. This is a picture that Aboriginal people try to hunting Sika deer. Okay, the left side. You can see the people use the bone and they use some kind of a long wood stick and to hunting them. And then they use what kind of animal to helping them hunting? Try to see in detail. This one. This is a Sika deer, right? And here is two different species of animals try to beating a Sika deer. What is these two animals? Even you could not see that clear. You could thinking in your mind, what kind of animal helping people so much?
Dog.
Yes, dogs. Yes, they use dogs. They train dogs and helping like hunting the Sika deer. Okay. You sure dog had like kind of abilities to kill Sika deer? Can you imagine your pet dog could also have the abilities to kill a Sika deer, no matter of their size, even Chihuahua? Okay, they still have the ability to kill an animal like Sika deer that big. Okay, so the contents we have is classification. And I want to introduce the ecological and the environment of the Sika deer. And then we go to their body size, body shape. I will tell you, introduce that. And I want to tell you three kinds of a deer family. We have only three kind species belong to the deer family. The first one is Mount Jake. Mount Jake. And the other one is Sambar deer. And the third one is Sika deer. In Chinese, the first one is Sanqiang. And the second one is Shui Lu. The third one is Meihua Lu. Okay. And the food, their food and the natural enemies. Okay. Before we start introduce this species, Sika deer, to you, I want to ask you a few questions. Have you ever tasted the meat of a deer? Good or not? Delicious or not? No. Are they belong to a good protein resource or bad protein resource? They have, which means they have a very much nutrition inside or less nutrition inside. In Chinese medicine's area, we said the Sika deer, the deer meat and the deer blood, actually the whole body of a deer are quite full of nutrition. They are best meat, best protein, even better than beef and better than pork. Yeah, they are quite high quality protein. So are they delicious? Okay, it's delicious since it depends, right? But if they are not delicious, will you make a complicated, very hard to made cooper tools, typically for cooking deer meat? Will you do that? Here is this kind of a ding. We name it ding. And this kind of a cooper equipment we use to cook deer. And you could see a hand symbol of a deer here, right? This kind of equipment could only be used to cook the deer meat. And not only for human, majorly cook this meat for God. Okay, as a gift to honor God. So if you want to honor the God, will you use a bad meat? Definitely not use the best meat, right? And in our history, this kind of equipment already be made in Song Dynasty, which means like 3,000 years ago. We started making this kind of equipment for cooked deer meat. And in Qing Dynasty, in Ming and the Qing Dynasty, the position of Sika deer raising extremely high. They become the animal that only royal family could hunt, not normal people. Okay, normal people are forbidden to hunt the deer. In the autumn, the royal family will go to the north part, that place named Mulan Weichang. Mulan is the location. And during the fall season, they will go in the hunt. And only the king and the royal family, the male, not the female, only the male royal family could be able to hunt a deer. So in the Ming and the Qing dynasty, this kind of a deer is not only the food resource, they become a symbol of power. We have a verse in Chinese called 逐鹿中原. Okay, 逐鹿 chasing the deer in middle part of mainland China. English forwards means that if you have the right to chasing the deer, which means you are chasing the power, Okay, so in our article, Chinese article, we already wrote a lot of things describe the Sika deer. But you see these pictures, and you hear your teacher told you that in Qing Dynasty, only the royal family could hunt the Sika deer, right? So this picture definitely not drawn in Qing Dynasty or in the end of a Qing Dynasty when they don't have that much power to control Taiwan, right? Yes, this picture is drawn in Dutch period. Those people from Henan try to rule Taiwan, and they encouraged Aboriginal people to hunt deer for them. And during that time, they drew this picture. And you know how much they found? They punish those people for hunting Sika deer. Do you know? What kind of punishment they were received if they didn't obey the law? They will be punished like this way. Yeah. They were using a very extremely long, like a 5-meter long wood stick, heavy one, and hit your button. It's not like, you know, whip your button. It's not like that. You know, according to this kind of distance, 5 meters, and huge weight, and sometimes we need 2 or 3 people to holding this wood stick. Okay, if you seriously against the law, and the wooden stick you receive is longer and heavier. Okay, in Chinese 这个叫杖刑，我不知道你们有没有听过，就是被木杖鞭打，他们要拿大概5公尺左右，就是最长的大概快到5公尺，然后要2-3个人 hold 住这个木棒，然后把它举得很高 ，let racing lane high and high speed, let it fold on your button. Okay, only one beat can destroy your bone. And if you kill the Sika deer, you will receive 30 beats. Yep. Even you didn't die, your whole body will be destroyed and you will die slowly. And they will find you 500 grams of gold, pure gold. That's equal to a whole life salary of a normal person. So you can see the punishment is quite high. Okay, so people will not against this law, right? And then here is the classification status of deers. In the whole world, we have many, many kind of deers, but you should focus on this one, start with CE. And here is one, CN, Nippon. Did you see this one? CN, Nippon. Nippon means Japan. Okay, CN Nippon means Japan. I think the Sika deer in Nailiang, in this area in Nailiang, is quite famous. You could feed in land, right? You could feed in land cookie. They sell the deer cookie. Let me check this for you. In Nailiang, they have a Sika deer park. You see they freely walking in the park, and you could offer them the cookie that made by sweet corn, by wheat, or some other rice something. Okay, and you could feed them. They already get used to this kind of cookie, this delicious cookie. So whenever a tourist having this cookie, they will running to you and then try to rob you just because of this cookie. Okay, they look quite similar as Formosan Sika deer. So I think like I can't actually remember the certain times, but probably around 60 years ago or 50 years ago, we used some detection way to separate the Sika deer. Here you go, you see the deer. 你看得到在奈良的鹿 you can see them. 然后这个外形真的是比较像梅花鹿的。The external shape is quite very similar as Formosan Sika deer. So originally, we thought they are the same species until several decades. And we start separate them from Nippon. Sika deer, okay? And there was 13 different species. There was 13 different species of Sika deer in the whole world. But after that, we identified there are 14 different kind of a Sika deer. There are subspecies. You can see there is one branch. There's one branch between Nippon Sika deer and the other different Sika deer. And then goes to, there are some split, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kind of a split, right? Including in this one, CN, start with CN. They all start with CN, right? They are descent family. They are subspecies. A species means, for example, I'm dog, he is a cat, and we could mate and have children. This is so-called individual species. What it means subspecies? Subspecies is like I'm living in the west part, I'm a cat, and the other cat looks not like me, not totally like me. They live in east part. In our entire life, we never met each other. But we are not yet totally separated. We still have some genetic connection, so we could mate and we could having children. This is a so-called subspecies. So you could import Nippon Sika deer to Taiwan, and they will mate with Formosan Sika deer. And if we do so, what will happen? The gene will be mixed. All the mixed blood will not belong to the original family. Okay, they create a new mixed blood species. And the original blood will disappear. Okay, even in Europe, even in America, we have some kind of deer named red deer. Red deer. They are a little bit far from Sika deer family, but they still could mate and create a new species. In the Sika deer farm in Taiwan, we're farming the Sika deer for their antler. And we import red deer to mating with them to create the deer with larger antler. Okay, larger antler means higher price. So we could do so. Okay, and I want you to realize this sentence here that in the Ice Age, I told you many times, in the Ice Age, Taiwan Strait, Taiwan 海峡 was frozen as an ice. So those animals in mainland China can work from mainland China to Taiwan. Okay, and even the Indonesia, even the Malaysia, even the Philippines, they are on Pacific Island arc. We call it Pacific Island arc, 岛湖, 太平洋岛湖, which means they were connected to each other. So the animals in Malaysia could walk to Taiwan too. There is one very famous example. Do you know the black bear in Taiwan? Do you know that? Do you know their English name is not black bear? No, it's not what? It's not a black bear. It's moon bear. They have the same names named Asian black bear, but they separate into different subspecies. On the right side, this one is Malaysia moon bear. In the right side, you see it's Malaysia moon bear. They have the white neck. So during the night times, you cannot be easy to see them because their body color is black. But you could observe this white curve on their neck. It's quite like a moonlight. So they named moon bear. Okay, and on the left side is Formosan moon bear. Okay, larger size, darker body color, whiter neck. Okay, different. I always tell my students all the species in Taiwan is more beautiful than other place. It's interesting because we have such high biodiversity in Taiwan. And due to this competition between different species, you must look more beautiful, more shining, more colorful, more strong, more delicate, and you will have more chance to finding your mate. You know, if I'm the only man in this classroom, it's so clear to finding me and so easy to identify me here, right? Think about if there are 1,000 men in this room, and who will see me, right? I must be outstanding, and evolution make those species be more outstanding, okay, by changing their body size and color. Okay, right, and then we go back to the Formosa. Here is also the Formosa Sika deer. I can't read this word perfectly. They belong to Artiodactyla. Okay, which means their toe was split in even number. Okay, normally 2. Their feet, their toe, 它们的脚趾 separate in even number, 2只. Okay, and they will belong to Artiodactyla. Okay, and if they only have one toe, like a cow, like a horse, only have one single toe, and all the fingernails was combining in one, and they're odd number. Okay, they belong to GET, and I try to not give you like kind of different word. I don't know either. Okay, GET. So, Lu belong to OT, and also the pig belong to Artiodactyla. The pig will get one kind of a disease called Officers fever, which means they will start licking their mouth liquid, and they will shaking, trembling. Their fingernail will getting soft. Okay, that kind of disease typically for the Artiodactyla family. Okay, so the deer will got this kind of the fever. And this is once very popular in Taiwan. Like 20% or 30% of the pig in Taiwan was killed by this fever. And they have no vaccine. The only way to prevent it is once you see a pig got this fever, you kill all of them. You kill all the farm of the animal and use some kind of a chemical things to clean this area so you could kill the fever. And you can imagine that if a pig could get this fever, the wild pig could also get this fever too, right? And the wild pig living together with the Formosan Sika deer. So Formosan Sika deer, their toe is like this shape, even number. So they will get this kind of fever too. Okay, they will get this fever too. So if they get this fever, almost all the Sika deer will die. Why? Because they're living together. We start restoration from 1984. At this time, we could only make sure the Sika deer in Zoom will have pure blood. Because those animals was under high level control. Okay, they framed it and they detected their blood, they detect their gene, and they make sure they are pure blood. Okay, so if we want to start a restoration, the only resource we could have is in the city zone. So we import the Sika deer from Mu Zha city zone, and we import 17 female and 5 male to Kending National Park and start our restoration. So total number in the beginning is only 22. And in 1984, all the Formosa Sika deer already extinct in wild. Okay, so around this time, we published one law to protect wild animal. Of course, the Sika deer already extinct in wild, so they are not wild animal, right? So they are not listed in this law. Okay, right? Okay, so you could imagine start with 17 female and 5 male. Why in this number? Why not 1-on-1? Why more female, less male? Yes, the one male could have at least 10 wives. Okay, so if so, we only need 2 male for 17 female, right? Why we import 5 male? At last, we need a competition. Okay, let the best gene passed. Okay, so this is the reason. But think about, they only start with least few number. Their next generation are mating with their brother and sister or their parents, right? With this kind of a close blood, will their body be stronger or weaker? Definitely weaker. Close blood make your body weaker. Okay, right. This is things talk about. Well, this is now the classified and domestic animal, which means a farmed animal. Okay, so is it illegal to kill a domestic animal? If you think it's illegal, raise your hand. So you never eat pork, and you think all those people eat pork are guilty. And how about those beef steak, right? All the meat we eat in our daily life are farmed. Okay, all the meat you could buy in the supermarket are farmed animal. So it legally, you can kill this kind of domestic animal and eat them and sell them. Okay? So, can you kill a Sika deer as a meat? The answer is yes. If there is a Sika deer walking in this classroom, we could kill them for food because they are domestic animal. Okay? But if you feel disgusting and you feel it's so bloodless to murder a Sika deer in front of other people and make you have a bad feeling, you think these animals was toleranced to death. And yes, they could fund you. They could fund you like 15,000. The highest punishment is 15,000. So if I prepare like 15,000 on my wallet, and I could kill this animal because I can pay the fund. And after I pay the payment, pay the fund, the punishment, and I could own this Sika deer. So this is ridiculous, right? It only left us 15,000. The number, the population is only around 1,000 to 2,000. So averagely, we're talking about there are like only 15,000 remained. I'm sorry, 1,500 remained. So with this less population, we still could eating them legally. So it's a little bit ridiculous, right? They look nice, they look cute. They are now protected by Kending National Park. So I told you you could only see Sika deer in Kending National Park. If you want to kill a Sika deer in Kending National Park, will you be punished? Yes. At last, you will be punished like 15,000, and you will plus 3,000 according to the national park law. If you're collecting animal or collecting plants, even the stone from a national park, you'll be fined like 3,000. Okay. So if you see a Sika deer hit by car, die along the street, and you want to pick them, you want to pick this Sika deer, dead body, and eat it, you will be only fined 3,000. And it must have someone to announce that, to tell these things to the national park So the staff will come to you and punish you. If no one see that, you could secretly eat this Sika deer. Okay, this happens all the time. We published the Wild Animal Protection Law is in 1989. And this period, the Sika deer already extinct in wild. Right, and then here, the following picture you see on the screen are the original place for Sika deer. They could be wildly found in Jianan plant in the west part of Taiwan. They are everywhere. Okay, they are everywhere. And in here, there's a Chinese sentence described in 1603. In 1603, some people write down some sentence. Talk about the Sika deer. It says the mountainside, the hillside is best for the Sika deer. 陆路移移, which means there are large population, many of them. They are forming a group like 100 to 1,000, which means hundreds Sika deer or 1,000 Sika deer. We are forming a group living in a typically area. And it's said about that, 或若丘陵设施无不保路, which means each village eating Sika deer. And they eat a lot of Sika deer. See, in this sentence, you can see the Aboriginal people living in Taiwan in around the 1603. They have a lot of Sika deer as a food. But now we can't see them. Why? The reason their number declined is not happened in Qing dynasty or Ming dynasty. As I mentioned before, we have a strict law to forbidden for hunting deer. It started because the Dutch East India Company adopted a reward system, which means they pay to the Aboriginal people if they bring the Sika deer to land. Okay, at this period, you mentioned about the Luermen, right? This is a harbor. This is a harbor in Tainan area. They have some document, the customs document that record. We export like 200,000 Sika deer skin per year. Okay, we export 200,000 Sika deer skin per year, and it lasts 10 years, which means there are at least 2 million Sika deer in Taiwan. Can you understand that? This calculation. 这段话的意思是说，其实在东印度公司跟荷兰在合作的时候，他们开始出口鹿皮，然后在鹿耳门那个地方的海关记录文件上面写说，每一年我们出口20万张鹿皮，然后连续了至少10年。所以基于一个很简单的数学算式，你大概可以知道台湾至少有200万只鹿。这段时间里面 ，OK， but at that period, how many people living in Taiwan? Less than 1 million. Okay, the human population in that period, 1603, is less than 1 million, and then there are 2 million of Sika deer running on the Jianan plant. One people could own 2 Sika deer. Okay, and now we have a 24 million of a human population in Taiwan, right? And we have only less than 2,000 Sika deer. Thinking about this rate, and you will realize that we are almost out of Sika deer. But the TV news still tells people that we are overpopulation of Sika deer in Kenting area, and they have a conflict with humans, and we have to erase them. What kind of a thought they had, right? Okay, we'll keep talking and you will know the truth and know why, right? But remember, this area is the best place, the place we live, the place we're sitting here, Wenzhao. Even in Wenzhao, there are ones full of Sika deer. Can you imagine that? All the place in Kaohsiung City, here on the Minzhu on the Boai on this city area, there are once full of Sika deer. Just because the human development and our economy development, we build new buildings. So we took the habitat of Sika deer. So their number decline. Here is the resource you could get from Sika deer. And this is the document, custom document that recorded we export Sika deer to other country. Okay. And let's just mainly talk about the habitat change and the fragmentations. Okay, after World War II, of course, the Japan's, after World War II, the Taiwan government took off the Taiwan island from Japanese government, and we started develop our economies. So we started doing this kind of rice farming things. So all the habitat original for Sika deer now changed to the rice farm. Okay. Could a Sika deer eat rice? How many of you think the Sika deer could eat rice? Raising your hand, please. You're not sure. But hey, depends on the website I show you in Nailiang. The Nippon Sika deer could even eat cookie made by rice, while I couldn't eat rice, right? Definitely could eat rice. So the pictures showing you here is a rice farm. Sika deer could survive nicely in this area. But if a Sika deer eating your rice and make you lose money, you are getting angry and they taste delicious. Definitely what will happen in the next, you know, right? Okay, the penis of a deer, the male deer, the penis, is a good medicine. And let's make the sexual abilities of a man getting better. So let's make men have a better sexual abilities by eating the Sika deer penis. So it's very expensive Chinese medicine. Also the antler. If you dig in the egg hole and drink this kind of liquid, it will raising your sexual abilities. True or false? Do you believe that eating the deer antler and deer penis will improve your sexual ability? You eat this kind of animal tissue, which gives you extra hormone from wild animal. Okay, and later I will explain how fast this antler grows and how they grow, and you will know why they are useful. Okay, and you can imagine that, right? If a deer without a skin or a deer without a penis will die, right? But a Sika deer without antler, will they die? No. So the reason we farm the Sika deer is mainly for their antler only. Okay, we didn't eat them until they're getting old and will peel their skin and eat their meat. They could live like for average life is 15 years for a Sika deer. And okay, later I will tell you that. Okay, right. This is a night vision. You see the Sika deer, right? What are those Sika deer doing? Seeing you, listening you. You can see the picture, right? Those Sika deer are facing you, face at you, right? But are they looking at you? No, they're not looking at you. The Sika deer have a good eye vision. No, they're eating grass, like this close. Okay, the grass is here, your eyes is here, like eating the grass, and the grass won't run, right? So definitely don't need a very good eye vision to eating grass. But they need to be hear something clearly. While they are eating, they only focus on the top in front of them. tiny area, and their ears moving in the air, try to hear things clearly. If any kind of a natural enemy making sound, they will hear it, and they will detect the direction and try to detect the distance. And if they're seeing dangers, if they're hearing the dangers, they will run. Okay, so you see these Sika deer facing you. They are not using their eyes to staring at you. They are using their both ear to receive signal, receive the sounds from you. And these 2 points, plus the noise resource you made create a triangle. Okay, this triangle help you detect the object in quite certainly right number. Okay, let's showing you the exactly distance. Use this triangle way. In Chinese, 三角定位法，可以吗？ You can see I'm teaching you so much better in Chinese because I just don't know the technique vocabulary well. Okay, 三角定位法 which you need 3 points. 3 points as a resource to detect a certain distance for one object. Okay, Sika deer use this way. So they are facing you. They are not staring at you. They are listening you. Okay, and you can see their eyes is shining, right? They reflect the light you gave them. So if you use a flashlight to make them lighter, to see them clear, and their eyes will totally receive this the light, the flashlight from you, and it hurts their eyes. After a few years, they get blind. Okay, they get blind. So if we want to observe a Sika deer during the nighttime, during the evening, try not to use the huge, strong flashlight that's hurting them. They prefer living in the sunny area of a hill during the daytime. During the daytime, they were walking in the woods, in the short trees. And because the sunlight throw the leaves and they create the tiny white spot. And their body is with tiny white spots. So it mixed together with the shadow and their body color. So it's better for them to hide from their natural enemy. Okay. During the nighttime, they eat. They walk out from those short trees and go to some grass area and eat grass, eat herb. It's their natural life. Okay, so delay sleeping at night. Deer is kind of a lazy animal. They eat whenever they feel hungry. They sleep whenever they feel tired. So this is kind of an eating machine. Okay, like it's truly like an eating machine. They just eat and the poo and eat and the poo in their whole life. Okay, eat and the poo and fighting for mate and having baby and then eat and the poo every day. Yeah, 15 years. They could eat a lot of the grass. One deer in 1 week could eat more than 20 meters square of grass. What I mean eat is totally clean out the grass. 一只梅花鹿大概1个礼拜一只，大概就可以吃20平方公尺的草地，然后是把所有的草都吃完的。So they are quite good eating machine. Okay. And then this is the green area. This green area is lowland. Is the lowland, which means, okay, the Formosan Sika deer like to living lower than the sea level, 300 meters than the sea level. Okay, so in the higher mountain, Taiwan have a mountain side. The total height will be like 3,900 meters, right? And the Sika deer prefer living in the middle level or lower level of the mountain. which means you could finding them mainly living below 300 meters of sea level. They like living in the plant. They like living in the hill, not the mountainside. But are they able to live in mountainside? Do you think they could live someplace higher than 2,000 meters? Yes, they could. Yes, they could. And because I told you they are the close family to the Nippon Sika deer, right? So we could see that. I'm using the keyword 奈良, Sika deer, and snow to search a website. And you could see those pictures. The Sika deer walking in the snow. And their white spot disappeared. A thicker fur grows out. Yes, they change their clothes. During the summertime, they have a thin clothes, which shows the light brown color and white spot. But during the winter time, they change their fur into thicker type. So they're preventing the heat loss. They can even walking in the snow. So if they can walk in the snow, they could live higher than 3,000 meters. Unfortunately, the first picture shows you the green area is the perfect place, habitat for Sika deer. The second picture shows you the population division of a human. Taipei, Taichung, Kaohsiung. The color shows redder, which means higher density of human. Okay, so let's say this picture was published in 1983, I think, this research. And in that period, the Kending National Park, it show you the white color, which means no people. Okay, so there are several national parks in Taiwan. In 1983, I think we already have a Jade Mountain National Park. And we have Yangmingshan National Park, and we have Kending National Park, and we have Xueba National Park. Jade Mountain and Xueba, in the first vote, we try to find a place to do the restoration for Sika deer. But the Jade Mountain National Park and the Xueba National Park, in the first round vote, they are out because the sea level is too high, not a perfect place for Sika deer. And left two choices, Yangming Mountain National Park and the Kending National Park. And the Yangming Mountain National Park refused to do these restoration things. Why? Because that's in Taipei, it's in capital. There are already many people living in there. Okay, their house living in there. Can you imagine a Sika deer running into your garden, finish your flower and the pool in front of your door? Yeah, and those rich people living Yangming Mountain, they need high quality of life. And they are powerful people. So they reject these things. So the Kending National Park took this job. And this area, yes, shows green color. Good for Sika deer. This is the reason the Kending National Park started restoration. But now they are full of the tourists, right? Do you know how many tourists annually in Kending? More than 1 million. Yes, annually, more than 1 million. During the summer vacation, there are over 400,000 people goes to Kending. And the highest population in 1 month is happened in August, I think. There's once 200,000 tourists goes to Kending in the same day. With this high density of human, of course, there will have some conflict between Sika deer and the human, right? It's not hard to understand. is because the Sika deer is overpopulation, so they will have easier conflict with human, or is because the human is overpopulation and they just hike into Sika deer's living area and creates this kind of conflict. Okay, think about that part. It may be not the Sika deer's fault, might be humans' fault. The original purpose is we try to restore this Sika deer and then release them back into the wild and then make them become wild animal. Okay, the original target is that, but we fail. We fail. Why? Because the environment changed so fast. They already extinct in the wild. All the plants, all the animal, all the ecosystem, even the human behavior changed. So this environment is not suitable for Sika deer ever. So if you put some disappeared animal back into their native place, still will have some problem happened. Okay? And I told you the Sika deer is an eating machine. They eat whatever they like. They rarely choose the food. Okay, so following things I will tell you. Okay, we have several stages for release the wild Sika deer. To release the Sika deer back to the wild, we have several stages. The first time we release about 50, I think. And we call the news reporter and we call those powerful governor to have a ceremony, and the TV even having a program to tell the whole process of Sika deer releasing. And within 2 days, all the Sika deer disappeared. It's called a release and catch, okay? You release the food, I catch the food. Aboriginal people, native person living in those areas has their habit to eating Sika deer. You give them meat, they eat meat. And you even announce it in TV programs, so everybody knows you release some Sika deer. So the first 2 times failed. And the third times, the national park secretly released them into the wild. And it also caused some problem. Okay, because you sneakily doing this behind of me. Okay, I don't realize I cannot protect my agriculture food, and your Sika deer come to my garden and finish my food, cost me lost money. Of course, I will go to national park and ask you pay for it, pay for my loss, right? So this kind of a conflict between native people and the national park also exists. Okay, so many problems. Here is a male. I find this picture so hard because it shows all the ways you could identify a male Sika deer. So don't look at the words. The balls, yes, but I'm surprised that it's the first things you realized. It's a summer deer or winter deer. Summer deer because you can see the white spots. Okay, during the winter time, those white spots disappeared, covered by thick fur. Okay, they are about 68 kilograms. 68 kilograms, 155 centimeter. The size were different based on the nutrition. Okay, and here's interesting things. They're not in their entire life with the horn. While they birth, in the first year, they are homeless. They don't have horn in the first year. From the age 1 to 2, they have a single stick without a split, without a branch. Okay, 1 to 2, they have only single stick. 2 to 3, the first branch shows. Okay, 3 to 4, the second branch shows. 4 to 5, the third the third branch shows. Okay, and after 5, how about 5 to 6? They dropped. I'm sorry, they dropped their horns annually. They were losing their horn annually and they regrow it in next year. Okay, so the 1 year to 2 year, they have a single stick, right? And then they lose it. And what? You're losing your hair, right? Yeah, how about a Sika deer? Why cannot losing their home and regrow it? It's amazing, yes, because it takes a lot of nutrition to regrow a horn and in a very fast speed. Okay, and the horn is quite heavy. How heavy you think? How heavy? For one horn, you think? Not that heavy. more than 1 kilogram. Yeah, of course, a pair of deer horns, yes, is more than 2 kilograms. How did they grow? On the deer's hand, this way or this way? This way? Okay, just imagine this horn is used for fighting. Okay, used for fighting. The Sika deer is quite violent. Every year, when male deer have their home, they start fighting to each other and they will kill each other. They'll kill, yes. Why? They will lower down their hand and run into each other and start raising their hand. This horn will focus on their neck or belly and stick them in raising height. Yeah, they will pocket through their body. And once they fight, it's life or death. So normally they don't fight. They shout to each other. They yelling loud. And then they kick the ground, make noise, try to scare each other. And their body smell, their body size, if they are equally strong, and they will start fighting. And if they start fighting, it's life or death things. Okay, keep that in your mind. They only eat easy food. If they could lowering their hand and eat the food, they won't raising their hand. If they could lay down and eat the food, they won't stand up. That's the truth. Yeah, they're so lazy. Okay, this is a male. And this is the first day they're losing their horn. Yes, it looks like painful, but it's actually not. If you want to cut an antler, and it's only a little bit painful, and they do have a few nerve systems in their antler, but in their horn, in the horn you're holding, you can see it's already dried. All the blood and the nutrition go back to their body, leave a dried bony hole. So they won't hurt. Okay, in this stage, they're soft, as soft as your finger. Yep, in this stage, yeah, you could touch your finger meat, as soft as your finger. In this stage, they already have a bonding structure inside. And in this stage, actually all the blood tube has already shrinked, and all the blood and the nutrition has already go back to their body. This whole process takes only 4 months or less than 4 months. If you are stronger, the speed of your horn regrowth faster. The more you eat, the faster you grow your horn. Okay? So I ever thought a male deer regrow his antler within 2 months in this quite high speed. In natural, always some exception. Okay? On their top stage of their life, their strongest life, and their fastest speed. Okay. As I told you, a Sika deer could live for 15 years. They will have a chance to be the deer king which means he can rule a whole family. Okay, in which age you think? Year 4 to 5, they will have their third split, third branch on their horn. They are not fully mature. Okay, so after 5 years old, they are fully mature, and they could be the king. And in years 5, 6, 7, they will have best chance to be the deer king. Okay, and you can see they are not losing their home at the same time. And how did they losing their horn? Do you ever saw this kind of process? A deer is losing their horn. Is there some kind of a ceremony to helping them to losing their horn? No, they're just walking and shaking their hand and the horn loose. Just like you losing your head. Yes, it's just like that way. You go check the YouTube video and use the keyword deer losing horn. And you can see a deer eating grass, raising his hand, shaking hand, and horn loose. Just like that easy. Yep, so it's natural things for deer. It won't cause some problems, okay? It seems hurt, but actually harmless. So they do it annually. And as I told you in this one, totally nothing to this fully grows. It's only take average like 4 months. You can see how much nutrition and hormone they will have to put in this antler. Okay, so if you cut out this antler, of course you could get some nutrition, right? Actually lots of nutrition. Okay, so it's quite good Chinese medicines to improve your sexual behavior. This is also male. Okay, I would say there are some deer king and there are some other male, right? Each male wanna be the king, so they could have their own wife belong to them. The maximum number for a deer king, they could have 15 wives, but could he always taking care of these 15 wives? Well, taking care of them? No, okay. If this wife feel horny and the king is busy on the other wife, what will happen? This wife will be willing to accept other male. Okay, I will tell you that if a Sika deer family is like a galaxy, okay, it's like a galaxy, and the central is the sun, right? The central is the sun, is the deer king. Okay, other stars around him is the female. Okay, and the other male that could not fight, could not win the battle with the deer king, become the satellite. I call them satellite female in this family. They always walking beside and very close to this family. They will try to have a chance to finding some male or some females and mate with them. And if the deer king finally these things happened, what will he do? He will come here and kick him out, right? But most of the time, this satellite male will successfully to mate. So it's interesting. Even you are the deer king, you guarantee will having your baby. You'll pass your gene to next generation. It's guaranteed because you have 10 or 15 wives. But some wives do have the baby from this satellite male. Okay, so once all the female deer have their baby, and do you think the deer king will keep his horn or not? No. You're losing your horn. You're losing your horn. You're losing your sexual abilities. Today we'll get to know the Sika deer. So why we sell Sika deer skin? Because they are soft. They are good to touch. Here I bring you a Sika deer skin. So this is a true score of a Sika deer. It's young one. You can see it, the northbound, bigu, northbound is still not healed. It's still separate. So the young baby deer eating grass, their nodes were moving like a circle. It's quite cute. Did you ever saw a rabbit eat grass? Their nodes also moving. It's kind of cute, right? Think about that image. The deer baby also do so. While they get older, this kind of nodes born will mix together. So the mature deer, when they are eating the grass, it's not that cute. Here's a score of a muntjac. A muntjac, 三枪的头. I told you there are 3 kinds of a deer in family. This is a 三枪 muntjac. And their natural enemy is this one. We don't have tiger in Taiwan. Okay, if I have a score of tiger, I couldn't show you. It's a protected animal, okay? This is a dog score. You can see their teeth. It's so sharp. So once they biting you, they'll cause the inner injured with your organs, okay? You have an inner bleeding. Have you ever been bit by a dog? Yeah, you have a bruise, right? Yes, it's several days, and your bone might be hurt, even if you are not bleeding. Okay, so this young Sika deer was attacked by a house dog. They have a label on their neck. They are pet. I saw them on my eyes. I saw one yellow, one black dog attack this baby. They chasing this baby like they are playing a toy. And they start to bite it. And after one bite, this tiny deer die immediately. Yeah, and those dogs losing interesting. They leave because this toy doesn't move anymore. Yeah, so do you think this dog wanna eat deer as food? No, they don't want to eat deer as food. They just want to play with it. And who teach, this might be a strong word, but it might be somebody let the dog know they are allowed to attack this wild animal, right? Otherwise, dog may be followed your order and may not attack the wild animal. Or you could train your dog. You want to release your dog into wild area, right? So what happened when I saw this dog attack a young Sika deer? 狗的头骨，然后你可以看到犬齿的部分非常的锐利，它们可以一次就咬穿梅花鹿的头。好，小鹿的头骨，在这个样子的头骨上面，你会发现它的鼻骨尚未愈合，它还是非常小，这个才1个月。那老师是亲眼看到这只小鹿是被狗杀掉的。这个是那个三枪的头骨，好，三枪头骨还是鹿科动物。那台湾有3种鹿科动物，就是水鹿、三枪还有梅花鹿3种。这个是鹿角的部分，好，3个分叉了，好，3个分叉了。它0到1岁的时候呢，它不长角，0到1岁是没有角的，1到2岁长1根直角。然后2到3岁第1个分叉，3到4岁第2个分叉，4到5岁第3个分叉，5岁之后就不再分叉了。它只会越来越小。This is 3 different animals for family, deer family. And this is the one muntjac when they're alive. Like that's quite cute. Yes, they are very, very tiny size, smaller than 1 table. Yes, smaller than 1 table. And the natural enemy is the dog too. The dog will attack them. They live higher than the sea level, 2,200 meter high. So if you go mountain climbing, you will see them on the mountain. Their body size could be 250 kilograms, quite huge size. No natural enemy. If they are fully mature, there are no natural enemy. Yes, they are too big. Even the wild dog could not attack them. But when they are baby, they do have natural enemy. Okay, and this location that we're releasing the animal to wild, this Sika deer to wild. In these 2 areas, they disappeared. In these 3 areas, they are majorly hit by the automobiles. They will have a car accident because you're driving too fast. Go check the newspaper and you will see some news report that talk about the people driving at the midnight, like 1 o'clock at midnight. And they are driving in 60 kilometer speed and hit a Sika deer. Of course, the Sika deer died. And your automobile will be totally destroyed. Yeah, crushed. Yeah. And this kind of things, and the driver blames the national park. And they said, this is your pet. Why didn't you control them? But do you still remember the main target? We restore this Sika deer is try to let them become a wild animal again, right? Will you set up a guideline for wild animal? Will you tell the Sika deer you must walking on the right side? Will you? No, you won't do that, right? And wild animal is free animal. You cannot be controlled. But whenever every kind of accident happened, any kind of a conflict happened between Sika deer and human, people always blamed on national park. So national park is kind of in a weird situation. They cannot deal with all of the things. And since the national park cannot rule this wild animal, and I want to protect my agricultural products, so I set up a net. And you know, Sika deer doesn't have a good eye vision. They always lower their hand in the eating grass. When they have a horn on their hand in this direction and they are eating great, even their nose and their eyes doesn't see the net, their horn already touched the net, right? They feel something weird or struggled on their net, so they're raising their hand and start shaking their hand, and this kind of a trouble happened. Look, their horn would just be struggled by this net tighter and tighter, and they couldn't leave. Oh, you smile, right? This one dead. Yeah, this one dead in front of me. They're too scared to die because they can't escape. They were thinking they're in danger. So they're getting nervous and nervous more and more, and they finally couldn't hold on. They passed off. Deer family all have this kind of behavior. The muntjac, yes, do have this kind of behavior. If you see a muntjac that was hurt, is bleeding, and you try to get in closer, they were scared to death. Their body temperature were raising high as 40 degrees and burning inside. Yeah, they would die this way. And then this is the other. Okay, show you their toes is even, but this is the vision I see. Satellite vision, the conflict between the human and the Sika deer. And you know, if you go the other side, if you stand on the other side for native people, for local people, and you will see our agricultural product was finished by Sika deer. I lose the money and no one want to pay me. And all of my family try to survive, depend on this season's agricultural products. And if you finish it, I don't have money to feed my whole family. So this is either you die or I die situation. So they hate Sika deer. On the same place, I see another female deer already be eaten and only left the skin. Okay, this is the picture. I try to call some help from the staff of the national park, and they try to pull the Sika deer to other place. This is some news headline, and you know, our opinion has changed quite much. And this is the food they eat. But now they choose the dragon fruit. They eat the dragon fruit. They eat the black soybean. And they eat this kind of a vegetable. All the vegetable you like, they like too. And there is one kind of a typically plant named madoling, gangkou madoling. This kind of plant is the food for this kind of butterfly. Did you still remember that I show you Magellan gold bird wing, right? This is not Magellan Baldwin, a gold bird wing. This is gold bird wing on second protection level in Taiwan. Taiwan 二级保育类. And this is a golden bird wing. Golden bird wing eats this kind of a plant. They only eat this kind of a plant. And now the Sika deer eat this kind of plant. And caused the extinction of this national protected butterfly. So you can see the problem because their eating machine, they eat everything. It already caused some pressures for other species. So is it truly a good way to release them back to the wild? I will leave these things for you, okay? I also prepare a video for you that the mink, the yellow-throat mink, could hunt Sika deer. And these videos shows you they're chasing the monk jade and eating the monk jade alive. Okay, so you go to search the internet, use the keyword 黄喉貂, and use the keyword 三枪. Use these videos. They eating the monk jade alive. They normally cooperate 3 mink together. They one chasing a certain distance, and the other one take off, keep chasing, and the first one rest. And the third one waiting in the farther direction. And when the second one get tired, the third one take off. So they doing this circle to make this monk jade getting too tired. And then they fold, and the monk jade fall down, and then they jump on his body, start eating. And the first place they eat is asshole, because it's the softest part of their body. Tasty, maybe. For some animals, it's tasty, maybe, right? Right? Okay, they start eating from asshole, and they dig into the organ inside and start eating their stomach and the guts alive. Yeah, so this video is quite bloody, so I won't show you on the classroom.